Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. So today I'm going to do the Growin Up Book Tag, and it was originally created by Possibly Literate. And I'm going to link her original video below so you guys can go check her out, go sub to her. It's actually, I read like 2 of the questions. So I say this on every tag video. I don't like the tags to be ruined for me. So I don't watch the videos first. And I started watching Dylan the Reader 5. I saw that he did it. He did not link the original video below, so I had to go searching for it. And then he said he was going to, so it must have just been a mistake. So anyway, I love Dylan so much. It's so funny, when I go to YouTube now and I put D in, it immediately comes up Dylan the Reader 5 because I go watch his videos so often. But anyway, so I went and I read the first 2 questions, and I was like, okay, I want to do this, right? So it was published on February 7th of this year, and she wrote, I've been waxing poetic about growing up and getting old. Amen, me too, and you're much younger than I am. So I thought I'd make a book tag about it. Obviously, this is open to everyone. You don't have to be a certain age, thank God, or have a certain education experience to do this. The questions work for everyone. Okay, so let's start on this. Number 1, preschool. It's okay to admit it, you're just in it for the pictures. What's your favorite illustrated book? Oh my God, that's so easy. Well, it's actually photographs, but I'm gonna use it anyway, and it is The Lonely Doll. I actually did a whole reading of it on this channel, so if you guys want to go see that video, it's on my channel somewhere. It's called Peter Reading The Lonely Doll or The Lonely Doll or something like that, but it was so great. It's about, and I think her name is Ethel, and she's like, she had everything she could always want, but she was very lonely. And Mr. Bear and his son, Little Bear, come, and that was my witch cackle, by the way. They come to visit her. So anyway, Edith is her name, not Ethel. Okay, number 2, kindergarten, nap time. What's a book that puts you to sleep? Oh my God, so many of them. Well, recently, Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. I just really struggled with that book, especially, the first half. I just thought was not very good. Okay, number 3, elementary school. Recess and story time and jungle gym, so much fun. What's a book or series that is just plain fun? The Geography Club series, which is also known as a Russell Middlebrook series by Brent Hardiger. It's probably one of my all-time favorite series of life. I would also say As the World Dies by Rhiannon Frater. It's a zombie series. And somebody just tweeted me yesterday. They had bought the physical copy of the first one. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, somebody got the physical. I've never even seen a physical copy of it. So, okay, number 4, middle school. The awkward, embarrassing years. What's a book or series that you're embarrassed you used to be a huge fan of? Well, I don't really my nose is driving me crazy. I trimmed my beard today. Wah! Every time I trim my beard, it drives me nuts. I'm never really embarrassed by books that I used to read. I guess, I used to back in high school read a lot of Jackie Collins and smut fiction like that. I just couldn't get enough of it, But I think that Jackie Collins actually, and I was lucky enough to interview her while she was still alive, is very much one of the most fantastic storytellers that we have ever had. I think she knows how to weave characterization and story together like nobody's business. So I'm not really embarrassed in retrospect to admit that Lucky is one of my all-time favorite novels. Okay, number 5, high school. The popular girl, the jock, the nerd, the loner. These are all stereotypes, but people are more than they appear. Who is a character that you initially wrote off as a trope stereotype but grew to love? That is a really good question. Let's see. Well, what is the book? Okay, so there's this one, that's a hard question. Let me go into my Goodreads really quick. I don't know, I feel like every book that I read, I try to find something different about. So it's not like I normally read typical tropes in books, if that makes sense. I don't go looking for them. So it's something for me if I see something different in it. Let's see, a character that I ended up loving. Who's the character that I ended up loving? Okay, well, I'll tell you this. The Book of David by Anonymous is about a kid that's coming out. And I have read so many LGBT YA books, so many coming out stories, that I really thought it would just be, typical of the rest. And it was so different, and it was very well done. And I was really impressed with it as well, because there's been a lot of these Go Ask Alice knockoffs, which I really like all of them, because I love to read books in diary form. I don't know why. But it was exceptionally well done. And so if you're looking for an LGBT YA book, I would definitely suggest the Book of David. And I thought it was fantastic. And he was a character that I kind of fell in love with. By the end, you know, you just wanted the best for him. And so, yeah, that would be the book that I would suggest. Okay, or I would say. Let's see, number 6, college. Out on your own, forging your own path, making your own schedule. What is your favorite coming of age story? Well, and I think definitely because it also takes place in college, I loved Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. It's one of my all-time favorite books. You know, and I think that Rainbow Rowell is kind of becoming of the same status as John Green. It's like not popular to like her anymore, which is really sad to me because I think that Rainbow Rowell is probably one of our most fantastic writers of our time. And, you know, it's interesting because I'm a huge Francesca Zappia fan who wrote Eliza and Her Monsters, and I'm getting ready to read Made You Up. And I was thinking about this as I was, like, reading an interview with her, and I thought, I'm a little worried she might become the next one. Does that make sense? Like, the next Rainbow Rowell or the next John Green, where it's like, you know, people love her stuff so much, but then it's like, boom, 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 boom. And then it's like, okay, so it's like what happened with the Dave Matthews Band. When the Dave Matthews Band started touring, everybody, they were unique. They were different, right? And then it became, over time, this college band, and then they were sellouts and all this kind of stuff. And I still love Dave Matthews Band. I always will. And so I think that you have to just be true to your heart on what you love and what relates to you. And I just loved Fangirl so much. It just, to this day, it's a book that really rings true with my heart. Okay. The next book, well, and I mean, of course, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe is probably the finest coming out story I have ever, coming of age and coming out story I've ever read in my entire life. So, okay, number 7, adulthood. Taxes and retirement accounts and car payments, oh my. All depressing, but you still have a sense that the world is your oyster. What is a book that's pretty depressing, but also has a sense of optimism to it? You know, this is really interesting because I never can pronounce this guy's name right. I apologize. He's the one that wrote The Alchemist. Paolo Coelho? Is that how you pronounce it? Coelho? But he wrote a book called The Spy that came out last year, and it's very, very short. And it was supposedly based on the letters of Mata Hari, the spy. And, you know, it was interesting to read because a lot of the reviews of it said that if Mata Hari lived in our time today, it would be a different story because of women's empowerment. And I think reading the book, knowing the time that she lived in, and then reading it now, really gives hope for change in our society, you know? That we can, you know, empower each other, and that, you know, when you read that book, that if you think to yourself that maybe what happened to her then would not necessarily be the case today, I think it's interesting, and I loved reading it and getting a completely different side of that story. I mean, I'd always, you know, it's very much like when you believe a rumor long enough because you hear it, it's like, I mean, if I said to you, do you know who Mata Hari is, most of you would say, if you know who she is, most of you would say she's a spy, you know, she was a double spy and all this kind of stuff, but when you read the book, you find kind of a different side of the story. And really what you find is a story of, you know, an aging woman that really didn't know what to do. And I think that there's many of us, no matter if you're male or female, that relate to that story. And you're kind of grasping at straws at some point. And I just was really, my soul was awakened by reading that book. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. It was a 5-star read for me. And it was very, very sad, very depressing. And I don't want to ruin it for you. Everybody should read it. It's literally like 100 pages. I think the Audible book is like 3 hours. And the Audible version is fantastic. But, you know, like, it was very, very sad, very depressing, but at the same time, it, like, totally woke me up, you know? And it made me realize, hey, like, life is short. Look at the things that you have in your life. You know, feel that you're blessed with what you have. So be very grateful for what you have. And I am. So, anyway, that was a good tag. I'm not going to tag anybody in it, because every time I tag people in it, they've already done it. So, this was the Growin Up tag, and I'm growing up. I'm Peter Pan. So, I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.